Good morning. It's time to wake up. Coffee first. If you were here, I'd give you a cup too. Anyway, I got this little fitness tracker. I don't know if I'll use it. It was $10 at the Target dollar spot. And they had them in gray and navy and white and this pretty peach color. So I thought I'd give it a go. I really would like to lose 10 pounds. Yesterday, I went through my closet with dresses, and I have a huge bag of dresses to donate. Yay! Some of them just didn't fit anymore. Some of them were just not appropriate anymore. I had them since I worked. I've been retired for 9 years, something like that. Anyway, they had to go. They were just all crammed in the closet, and it just feels so good to get some air circulating in your cupboards and closets and all that. So today I think I'm going to go through my skirts that I have. I'll keep a few because I still go out every now and then, but even when I get dressed around here or if I go to a function, I usually wear shorts in the summer or, pants. But every now and then we go somewhere a little nice where I'd like a nice skirt and just get dressed up, girly stuff. So I don't want to get rid of everything. I'm never going to be a minimalist clothes person. I think that's great, but I know me and I would get bored with what I had. And I would just go out on a buying spree and buy more stuff, and I don't want to do that. I want to live within my means. I don't want to live like a pauper. I think life should be comfortable, and if there's something you really want and you can afford it, I think go for it. Because life's short, Sometimes you save and scrimp and save and scrimp, and you really have nothing to show for it. So I don't know, a happy medium is good. And that's the level I'm striving for. I want a happy medium. I want to live within my means. I don't want to, live on credit. I want to get my bills paid. And most of my bills are paid. I have a couple that I'm working on. And then I bought the car, which I can afford, but it's really taken it up a level. I liked it much better when I didn't have that car payment, but it was necessary. My oldest son's truck broke down, and he was going to look for another old car because he works in the city, and you don't really want to park a really nice car there. So, I said, well, just take my car and I'll buy another car. So that's what we did. And I was happy to see my tried and true old car friend go to a family member. So, and then I bought this new car, and it may be the last car I buy the rest of my life because I keep my cars a long time. As long as they're running well, the body starts to go really before the engine, so I keep them for a long time. So that is a good way to save money. Don't buy a new car every 3 years. Unless that's what you like, then, good, go for it. But we all have things that are important to us, and if we can afford them, I think that's the way we should go. So anyway, as I've been purging through my clothes, And like I said in my last video, I am a clothes hoarder. I mean, I'm going to confess that right here. I have always loved clothes. I've loved fashion, makeup, jewelry, purses, shoes. I just love, I'm a girly girl and I like looking like a girly girl. So, but not so much anymore. As you get older, I don't know, things change, your tastes change a lot of times, and the things that were important when you were really young sometimes aren't as important anymore. But um, it's a good lesson learned because some of the dresses that I got rid of, I mean, I could squeeze into them and I could say, I'm going to keep these until I lose the 10 pounds I want to lose, but I don't want to do that. So it was a good lesson learned because a few of them still had tags on them and they were really cute dresses. But then I thought, well, think of it as a charitable donation. And some young woman out there, maybe that's struggling, um, needs a dress for her job or an interview to get a job, whatever, and can't afford to spend a lot of money on clothes, then, this would be something. So I look at it that way. It's my charitable donation in lieu of giving money to someone that maybe isn't as fortunate as I am or as I was, and in as far as having an earning potential. So through each thing that I go through in my house, I realize that, okay, this isn't working for me anymore, so it needs to go. And I discover new things all the time. It's like going to a store and shopping for me. So when I find things that I forgot that I stashed in the back of the cupboard or in the back of the closet, it that feeling that you get when you go shopping and you have new things, and it's the same feeling that I get when I go through my house. So that way I actually start using a lot of the things that I forgot I had, and I switch them out for things that I don't find useful anymore. So that's been working really well for me. So sometimes life becomes a little overwhelming, and I think we all go through periods like that. So one of the things that I like to do to put things back in perspective, I like to make myself a list and I like to write down what's working for me and what isn't working, things that I want to continue to do, and things that I want to let go. Now, for me, some of the things that I really enjoy doing, I enjoy cooking. So that's something that even as I get older, I can continue to do that. Um, I especially like to do vegan cooking because it's very creative. You use a lot of really different ingredients to create something else. Like some people call it fake meat, but I don't call it fake because there's nothing fake in it. I mean, if you buy the store bought, you know, um, but I'm talking about like if you make seitan, which is made out of wheat gluten, and you can make a very meat-like um, dish out of that. Um, then it's creative, and so I like being creative. I'm always creating something. Um, some other things that I like to do is my gardening. Now I can't, shovel up a whole 16 by 20 plot anymore, but I can certainly do container gardening, and I can streamline that to having a lot of containers or a few containers. And if you can't bend over anymore, you can get buckets or totes and put them in plastic chairs to raise them up. Um, so that works real well. And, anything you do, you can modify. You can modify it if it's something that you really love and continue to do it. And then some of the things like, dressing up with the dresses and, like I did when I went to work, that doesn't work for me anymore. I like to do it once in a while, but it's not something that I want to do every day. I don't want to get up every day and put on makeup and, dress up. Um, if I put on some of my good clothes, I don't want to work. I don't want to work around the house. So I just put on my old clothes. And sometimes I put on the ugliest things I have because then I don't feel like I'm going to ruin anything. So there are a lot of ways to continue to do things that you like to do and modify them to whatever your need is. And it's not just when you're older, sometimes you might have an injury or something like that where you still want to continue to do what it is you're doing, but you can't do it the way you did it before. So, um, but making a list and looking back at it every now and then really is helpful to me. I like to write things down. I do morning pages if I have some problem that I'm having a hard time figuring out. I'll write morning pages, and that concept came from a book. Um, the name escapes me right now. The Artist's Way, and I can't remember the author of that, but it's something that a book that she wrote about, and it was actually writing about like writer's block or artist's block, but it works for anything that you're going through, and just getting your thoughts and emotions out on paper is very helpful. So that's one thing I do a lot of. So I'm actually thinking about at some point, because I was cleaning out my craft room yesterday, and I was thinking about actually maybe reviving one of my old businesses where I made jewelry and I did painting, fine art painting. And looking through all my supplies in my art studio guest room, um, it sort of brought back some thoughts of maybe I'll do that again. And it was a really fun way of making a little extra income. And I never had any problems selling any of my jewelry. So um, I was successful at it, but I think this time I would go into something like Etsy or one of these online sales because when I did it before, I used to go and have like parties, jewelry parties, where people would invite their friends and then I would sell my jewelry that way. But it got to the point where it was getting difficult to drag all the stuff along. And I even had a tent and tables. And, I don't have an SUV or a truck. I could have bought that instead of buying my convertible, but I wanted the convertible because it's fun. So, and it got to be too much because dragging all that stuff, it's difficult for me at the end of the day when I do a lot of lifting and hauling. It must compress my spine because then at the end of the day, I'm just shot. So that's one thing that I let it go, but I think if I sell things online, I might consider doing that again. So we'll see how that goes, but it gives me a creative outlet. It gives me something to do. And plus that, I enjoy designing jewelry for myself. If I have an outfit and it has multiple colors in it, I can make coordinating earrings or a necklace. And it's something you might want to consider taking up too, because it's not real expensive, although beads have gotten pretty expensive. But you could make paper beads. I went to an art show where one of the artists, her whole display, and she had a big display, was all paper beads. And it was beautiful. Her work was beautiful. It didn't look chintzy, it didn't look cheap. She really did a nice job. Plus, they're lightweight. You know, some people don't like something heavy hanging around their neck. So, you know, and you use scrap paper. You can use old magazines with a lot of color in them. So if you have a lot of old magazines laying around, you might want to look into something like that if you're thinking about maybe picking up a hobby or, you know, using up some things that you already have. So anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit, have a little chat about some of these things and um, changes in your life and enjoying your life and going with what you can do and what you can't do and modifying as much as you can, because growing older doesn't have to be a terrible experience. It's what you make it. So anyway, that's all I have for you today. I just wanted to come on and say hello and share a coffee with you. And what do you guys like to do? Tell me some of your hobbies and some of the things, how you've modified things over the years to be able to continue to do what you like to do, or maybe you've had an injury and you've modified your life around that. Let me know in the comments below. Let us know, and you know, maybe you can be an inspiration for someone. So anyway, I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys, and cheers. I'll see you next time.